Hey everybody, welcome. It is indeed 1900 hours. It is now anyway, on Monday, 18th of May 2026. Welcome then to this educational session, the clinic if you like. And we're looking at the dynamic hedge on the Dow right there. Hi Sakthi, hi Peter, welcome. Nice to see you on. Thanks for joining me. We don't have the big numbers that we normally do, but you know, it is May. We're getting into the summer. There might be people on holidays and stuff. There might be what's the word I'm looking for? Confusion. Anyway, I'm recording it and it'll go up on YouTube later as we do. Now, I've prepared some notes. I've prepared a session for us. We'll see how it goes. And of course, your questions to boot. I did have a request as well. It's an interesting one. I will read it out to you and we'll look at what it is, if you like, as we go through. The main body of what I wanted to do first, Canadian holiday, that explains it. Thanks, Adam. There you go. Now we know why we've less people on than we might otherwise have had. Now, there you go. I've got that question, but I want to first go through what I prepared. So, never look a gift horse in the mouth. Have you heard that saying before? I ask because from time to time someone asks if I took a trade that we were looking at, or they ask about seeing my broker statements. You know who you are. I've always been a person that walked my own path. I do what I want to do and stuff the flock, generally. I don't do the whole herd mentality thing. I'd have wasted half my life watching Liverpool play football if I did. Sometimes in the sessions, I do advise, hey, I missed that one whilst watching more closely the other, be it NAS or Dow on the day. Regardless of what I take personally, the accuracy of the calls is related to the gift horse comment. I'm happy to be judged by you guys, you, the jury of my peers who regularly attend my sessions. And while you attend my sessions and report great results, none of us have any worries. I'll take that moment to remind you that watching me trade live and in person has actually caused more harm than good to some who sat next to me. Some see a threat when I trade full tilt, full value stake, full high stake on the NAS, the DAX or the Dow, and the pressure causes an impact or an effect that I can't quite describe. You've heard live testament from some of those concerned in the sessions. Some still refer to me as a psychopath. Whilst I disagree with that, I do freely admit that I have no real sense of emotion when I'm trading, and I believe that that's an asset. Often, when asked how I do what I do, I compare myself to a combination of Mr. Bean and Forrest Gump. To elaborate on that, I sit in the corner and I look at the pictures. Then I do whatever the hell charts tell me to. And I challenge anyone and everyone in the group to show me a problem with any of our known strategies. Peter, another very good educator, he's a member of our group, Peter N. He shared a great post a while ago and I have it saved. He wrote, "The way I see it, all of James' strategies work. It's the person on the keyboard that is the variable factor and more often than not the problem. If you want to treat trading as a business rather than a hobby, then you need to confront or sort out the issues with the person behind the keyboard. I've said myself many times, the problem exists between the keyboard and the chair." Now, looking at any of our strategies, any of our major strategies, there's seldom a reason or an excuse for late entry. There might be, in fairness, arguments for an early entry, but then we're factoring in pivots and using more advanced technique. You're trained to be expecting a trade in a given direction. It offers a trigger. There's a tick and you click. If you get that part right, you're more than halfway there. What happens after is mostly a battle between your conscious and subconscious mind. Or maybe you missed a trick somewhere, but that shouldn't, if you're trading properly, be a terribly worrying factor. Excuse me. Your exit and trade management are the major variables affected by your state of mind and the swings up and down of the trade generally. You know the many things that help with those issues. Putting them into practice is a downfall. Often those issues are brought about by humanity's need for instant gratification. The correlation then between instant and delayed gratification. Think instead of motivation or discipline, whichever of those drives you most. Think about taking the path of least resistance. Audit what it is going on around you. Remove the bad and keep the good. This will facilitate taking the path of least resistance. This is why we have rules, see? So that you think before you break them. Another tip from our Days Gone By sessions. Some of you might remember this. Bob, you're one of my older group members. You've been in with me a while. Anne, Adam, some of you guys that have been with me for a long time, you'll remember this. A tip from our Days Gone By. Set an alarm on your market of interest for a Monday 4-hour hopper cross. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. So when we see that 4-hour hopper on a Monday, it generally gives the best choice and chance of direction bias for the remainder of that week we're entering. Hi Rosa, good to see you on. Thanks for being here. You've just joined at the last of the notes. Let's take a look for some of those now. Then we can examine them next Monday, assuming we remember that plan. And Rosa wrote there, yes, 4-hour hopper. While we're on this screen, look, the 2-minute is in sell mode. We've got a bit of a failed W on the go here. X, A, B, C. The D didn't arrive. The pivot failed. Look, PSAR outside, price goes below the mid BB, we crack below a big round number, below white, pink, purple, all of them right there, and a hopper, and boom, you've got from 49, let's say 680, I don't know, somewhere below, down to 540. There's a lot of pips in there. There really is. There's at least like 40, maybe 60 pips in that from ceiling to floor. This is our 4-hour layout here. Yes, I was very hopeful that we wouldn't see any of the major indicators on there. It's just on there because we're looking for Monday hoppers. Now, we don't quite have a hopper on the FTSE. We did have one. It wasn't today. No hopper, no hopper, no hopper, no recent hoppers. Okay, so we need then to look or consider divergence and the usual rejection of a line and the usual signal and the usual trend-based ideals and where we are in relation yellow in relation to white, above or just crossing or below, or where are we, what's the direction, where's it headed, where is the major, look at that, there's a 987 in there, where is the major support or resistance factoring in for us, and how will we view that through the week. And I'll remind you all that are in attendance now, this is the first week we're going into where we've got sessions Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. We've got our regular 3 sessions tomorrow, 1 on Wednesday, 3 sessions on Thursday, 1 on Friday. Those are additions in sort of, let's say, celebration of the relaunch and revamp of our Realtor Traders group. Back to this, it was you, wasn't it? Back to him, yeah. Robert's just got on, Sakti said, yes, I saw that, happy for your extra time, you're very welcome. And sorry, Robert, we've sort of dived in and you've missed all the notes now. We've been going for almost 10 minutes, but in a moment I'll end the recording and you can watch the recording on YouTube later, of course, but if there are any questions on what we've discussed so far, yes, fire away. Otherwise, we'll end the recording in a minute and that'll be a sort of a 10-minute YouTube and we can go on to the proper strategy and fire any questions up that you might have then. So, questions on what we've discussed? No? Are we happy? Alrighty then, with a 10-minute recording, I'll say thank you all for watching. Please feel free to click on the like button and show me that you watched it and you have some interest. Always I welcome comments and feedback, and many thanks to, well, the people who contribute and put a comment on there. It is very, very helpful. Thank you for those. Trade safe. I'll see you on the next session.